We're doing the recap of round 4 of the World Championship. Magnus Carlsen played black with the black pieces in this game. I'm here with international master Nitzan Steinberg. Hi Nitzan. Hello. We have Karyakin on the white pieces, and we want to look from the black pieces perspective because we are kind of rooted for Magnus, and also we found it much more interesting because black was the one pressing. So a few disclaimers before we start. We didn't check with the computer, and we didn't analyze the game deeply afterwards, so we don't really know what are the best moves, and we are going to provide our insights from our perspective of this game. We were both watching it. I was commentating together with IM Igor Bitansky, and Nitzan was watching the commentary and was formulating his own thoughts. So,
yes.
Shall we start with the game?
What?
Shall we start with the game and have a look?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so Karyakin opened with e4, and they repeated the same opening, the Rui Lopez from the second game. So far we're following the main line, and in the second game Karyakin played d3, but now he finally shifted to the main lines, rook e1, and Carlsen continued with the most popular moves, and now castle short, which is less popular than d6, but is very trendy nowadays to play the martial attack. Is it called the martial attack or the martial gambit, probably, yeah?
Yeah, after c3, d5.
After c3, d5 is the point. To sacrifice a pawn and receive a tremendous initiative and compensation for it. c6 is the main line nowadays. So, instead of c3, Karyakin played the variation called the anti-martial, h3, bishop b7, once again preserving the option to play d5 after c3. d3 was played, and now d5 is highly theoretical, but white has an extra option to develop the knight to c3, plus the pawn on d3 is less weak. So, and also this position is very forcing, so I'm guessing Carlsen didn't want to enter it. He wanted to have a long game with all the pieces on the board. So he played d6, now threatening knight a5 to swap the Rui Lopez bishop, the Spanish bishop, a3, providing this window on a2 to run away from knight a5. And now Carlsen played the most theoretical move, queen d7, preparing knight d8, knight d6 probably, or rook f or rook a8. Karyakin played knight bd2, and after a few more moves, c3, bishop f8, all moves are very logical, kind of preparing d5. Karyakin played knight f1, once again h6, preparing d5, preventing bishop g5 ideas. So this position, more or less, knight 3 to h2, is where the true struggle begins.
Yes.
This is the critical position of the opening, and now black has to decide how he's going to proceed to grab his initiative, and soon enough we'll start looking at the different options. So d5.
Yes.
Yes.
After knight 3h2, I think that Karyakin wants to play queen f3.
Yes,
and
queen f3.
Queen f3, also bishop h6.
Yes.
And the d5 is also protecting.
Yes.
So black needs to
be quick. Yes. He has to play actively before queen f3 arrives.
Yes.
And Karyakin played queen f3 nevertheless, threatening bishop takes h6, and even if black defends, then he wants to go knight g4 followed by h takes g4 and trying to take over the initiative. So Carlsen had to act quickly, and he found a very nice idea, sacrificing a pawn temporarily with some tactical idea behind it. So knight a5, bishop a2, And just like in the second game, he found this strong move, knight to c4. So d takes e4, d takes e4, and now knight c4. And blocking the bishop, with the idea that after bishop takes h6 that was played in the game, queen c6 protects the knight, which hits the bishop indirectly, and attacks the pawn on e4 one more time. So the pawn is indirectly defended, and now Karyakin had to decide what to play, and he chose to take on h6, allowing queen c6. So far there is not much going on, but here after queen c6, Karyakin was faced with a choice, and now he played a move that shocked many people around the world who were watching it. He didn't play bishop e3 actually. I inserted the move incorrectly. The move he played was bishop takes c4, giving up the Spanish bishop, which is something that is not seen very regularly in the Ruy Lopez, and I think it can be regarded as an inaccuracy.
But what do you think? Something else for white?
What else can he play?
Yeah,
so
what else?
after bishop takes, instead of bishop takes c4, another line that was possible, I believe, was bishop back to c1, and
bishop
knight takes
c1.
e4, and now knight e3. Yes. And in this position after knight e3, well, we analyzed during the stream rook a d8, knight h to g4, and we were not sure what happens. But even if
maybe
it's
after knight e3, knight e d6. What do you think?
it's possible, but it's definitely less challenging for white than what happened in the game.
Yes.
So if you go back with the knight, then I should be happy with bishop c1 back. So in my opinion, rook a d8 is the most aggressive. Now knight h g4, and please don't.
I don't know why, but I don't see your moves.
You don't see my moves.
Yeah, so we need also to do the moves.
From your side.
Yes.
Let's have a look if I can quickly fix it. Okay, so now knight h g4. Do you see the move that I'm making?
No.
Let's see. Do you see it now?
Maybe I need to do. Yeah. Okay. Rook d3. Yeah.
Yeah, rook d3.
Yeah.
So,
okay. I see.
bishop b1 is what we analyzed, and now knight cd2 looks good for blacks, but after rook d3 I'm not sure if white can equalize, but it looks much less dangerous to me than what happened in the game. As long as I don't give up this bishop, then I feel like I have some chances, but I'm not sure. So I feel like bishop c1 would have been better. So this was the first critical moment of the game. Karyakin chose to give up the light squared bishop, and after b takes c4, bishop takes h6 was played.
I think that he played bishop h6 after queen c6, no?
I guess you're right, but when we inserted the moves manually, I'm not sure we got the right order. So let's have a look. Bishop h6, queen c6, and now in the game I think we wrote bishop e3, but actually bishop c4 was played first. So let's just ignore it. So let's ignore it for a moment. This is the position from the game after bishop takes c4, b takes c4. Yeah, bishop from h6 went back to e3. Now knight g3, and black is the one playing for the advantage. And now Carlsen played a move I really like. Do you remember what he played?
Yeah, knight e6.
Yes, knight e6 was a very powerful move, and the idea.
Let's see. After knight g3, queen g3, maybe f5 is interesting.
Yeah, perhaps. f5, threatening f4.
So
maybe white plays f4 himself.
Yeah, but now rook e6, I don't know
How white should defend.
Yeah, maybe knight f3, knight g5, but it looks too risky.
Yeah. You wanna go rook g6.
Yeah, rook g6, knight g5. Maybe something like bishop d6.
Actually, maybe no, you cannot. Bishop e7 with the idea to take and play f4.
Yeah, but also bishop d6. After bishop e7, maybe h4.
So bishop d6 threatening e takes f4.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks a bit dangerous for white. So where did I go wrong? Knight g3 is looking like a good move.
Yeah, you need to take with the queen. But I'm thinking that maybe knight d6 is better, but interesting also to take an f5.
Yeah, I agree. However, maybe I can just take here and go fg. Is it so bad? Probably it is bad, but I'm just wondering.
Yeah, but maybe rook ab8.
Yeah.
Rook ab8, you need rook e2.
And now?
Rook b5.
Yes.
Oh, maybe rook b3. No, rook b3 I will play.
Rook b3. With the idea rook eb8.
Knight f3, yeah.
Yeah, and well, the position is quite unclear compared to the game. I mean, of course, black is the one pressing, but it feels like white has some chances. I mean,
yeah.
Feels to me like if you're having the advantage and more space, it's a good idea to avoid exchanging many pieces and pawns. So by keeping the knights on the board, white has more pieces to handle. Now rook ad1 was played, and now Carlsen played the move I really liked. Instead of taking on f3, which maybe most players will consider doing to weaken a white structure, he doesn't want to give up this b7 monster, and he plays a quiet, mysterious rook move, rook ab8, just preparing. Now he's threatening actually queen takes f3 because the pawn on b2 will hang at the end. So later, after bishop c1 defending from this threat, Magnus played another solid move, f6, just protecting e5.
Yeah, fantastic move.
Yes, stabilizing the position. We were analyzing an option like f5. We were very curious about it, but he doesn't rush, he just goes f6. Karyakin doesn't know what to do, he plays queen takes c6, followed by knight g4. And now another fantastic move. He wants to play f5, but this pawn is hanging, so he was preparing f5 with rook b5. Just protecting the pawn, and f5 will come next. So f3 was played, Carlsen played f5, knight went back to f2, and now another amazing move that we kind of missed, but is very simple once you see it. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, bishop b7.
Correct. And I explained in the stream also that the method to find such moves is to ask what does the opponent threaten, and if he's threatening nothing, then we can ask the second question, which piece doesn't work, in which case the bishop is probably the piece that we can improve the fastest and in the most meaningful way. So bishop e7 bringing it to h4, and then white is going to be under heavy pressure. So bishop e7 just preparing bishop h4. Karyakin realized his position is going to deteriorate if he doesn't do anything rapidly, so he tried to change the nature of the position with f4. So far, Carlsen is playing a fantastic game in my opinion. And bishop h4, once again, a very interesting move. fe, we are analyzing rook b5, but there is no point to let's say, think too much between two good options. Bishop g3 looks really good. E d6, rook e1, and now c d6, yeah?
Yeah.
And despite exchanging a pair of rooks and a pair of knights, white's position is completely paralyzed. If you notice, you can't really move the a or h pawns without losing them. All the pieces are fixed. Bishop has to defend b2, the b2 pawn cannot move. So all that white can do is either move his rook or his king, because the knight is pinned. So he's almost without any moves. And he chose to play rook to d1, preparing knight h1, I assume, followed by king f2 and knight g3.
Yes.
And now Carlsen played a very logical move, but king f7. But we wanted to look at an interesting option actually that I'm not sure about its evaluation. Do you remember what it is?
Rook e5.
Yes. So now Carlsen has much more space, and the pair of bishops, obviously more active pieces, so many trumps, but it's not so clear if he can win straight away. So he can improve the position of his king and allow white to regroup, but there is another way to try to squeeze him even farther. So we are considering the move rook e5. First of all, preventing the rook from moving forward because there is mate on e1. And secondly, now after knight h1, there is the idea
f4.
Exactly, f4, protecting the bishop and further increasing the pressure. Now rook e2 is a deadly threat, and we are not sure what white can do to defend. I mean, the rook cannot really move. Rook e2 will come next. So if knight takes g3, f g3, nothing much changes. And it seems like rook e2 is something that's going to end the game. So white has to somehow try to prevent it. And during the stream, Igor and I were thinking of king f1. But now Nitzan...
Bishop e4.
Exactly, bishop e4 is a very good move, threatening bishop d3 and rook e2. And I just want to remind the viewers, we don't know if it works or not. We didn't check with the computer, but it feels like this idea can be quite deadly. And
I think he's winning. Bishop d3, rook e2, bishop e4.
Yeah. So
And
my
also,
question is...
white bishop can't move.
Yeah.
Because of the pawn on b2, and always the pawn is crashing, you know.
Yes. And the first question that comes to mind is whether or not white can defend this position. So let's think for a minute to see if we can find something for black.
Maybe after rook e5. I think here is probably need to win.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe after rook e5, white has something.
Rook where?
Rook e5.
Ah, rook e5 earlier.
Yeah.
Instead of knight h1.
Yeah, because maybe after rook e5, king f1. And
By the way, in the game after king f7, he played rook d4, not knight h1. So rook e5 prevents most of the ideas. Do you suggest king f1?
yes.
Okay. Now I don't have the same idea with bishop e4, but maybe I can go f4 first. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what are you gonna do? Rook d4?
No, maybe knight g4.
Mm-hmm. Knight g4?
Rook e6, yeah.
Yeah, suddenly it's not as easy as I thought. Rook e6?
No, rook e6, I think, yeah.
Could you have taken on d6 actually? Yeah, maybe it's not so convincing.
Oh yeah, rook d6.
Yeah, after f4 there is rook d6.
So
So-
f4 no.
So
After
king f1 is probably a good defensive move, but what can I do? Maybe something else? Anything you have in mind?
I think.
I'm not too sure.
You know, what about d5?
d5 in this position.
Yeah. You know why? Because no, maybe not d5. Maybe rook e6. Rook e6.
Rook e6 in this
Because
position.
after knight h1, I have bishop a4.
Bishop to
a4.
a4. I see.
And I think that this is winning, yeah?
Yeah.
So you can't move also the knight after rook e6.
Yeah, rook e6 looks like a powerful move.
didn't see. I don't see any move for you. Maybe bishop d2 and rook e1. But it looks like it's very slowly. And after bishop d2, maybe f4, rook e1, king f7.
I'm not sure. Bishop d2 looks like a good move, preparing rook e1. Yeah, and I don't see. Maybe it's not as convincing as I thought. I mean, probably rook e5 is not that deadly.
Yeah, okay, so king f7.
Just want to check real quick if the viewers can hear us. Okay, so seems like it's okay. Just want to adjust the volume a little bit. Sorry. Yes, so what were you saying?
Bishop d2, king f7, I think.
King f7.
But now you can play knight h1, yeah?
Knight h1. Yes.
But also here, I don't know, maybe bishop h4, something like this.
Yeah. Well,
bishop f4.
Whether or not it's winning is difficult to say. Bishop e4 now, actually.
No, it's not so clear. Rook d6.
Bishop d3.
King g1.
Rook e1. I don't have a direct way. G5. I see a funny line I want to mention. Here, rook e1, king h2, and g5.
g5, yeah.
Now, what are you gonna play?
Bishop g3, I think.
I wanted to take on h1 maybe.
Oh, yeah. So
but it's not so easy to evaluate because you get this pawn.
h6.
Yeah, maybe it's a draw actually. I don't have enough pawns.
Maybe also you can lose this position.
Yes. So
the a pawn
going
to be queen.
So the only thing we know for sure, Nitsi, is that in this position, rook e5 was an interesting try, but not as overwhelming as we thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is good.
Maybe king f7.
So yeah, probably king f7 was correct. So I don't know why I was so excited about rook e5. Probably I missed that white can go king f1 straight away. I thought he had to go knight h1. In which case f4 looks very strong. Yeah.
Yes.
This looks crushing actually. Yeah. So instead, king f7 in the game seems to be correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, yeah, this was the game. Rook d1, king f7, rook d4, attacking the c4 pawn, and preparing bishop f4.
Interesting position.
Yeah, now I think what Carlsen played was quite strong. I mean, he dealt with all white's threats very effectively. Yeah, rook e5, threatening mate on e1, and after king f1, suddenly rook c4 is no longer a threat because of bishop b5. Yeah.
Yeah, so rook d5. Yeah. Fantastic idea.
And yeah, in this position, after king f1, rook d5 was played. And this is the move that I'm not sure if it was the best, but it looks like a good technical move. But knowing the result of the game, maybe there is something better to be played. Other than rook d5 exchanging the rooks. But white is threatening bishop f4, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I feel like rook d5 is the best move.
So, rook d5 seems like the right way.
After this, you need to be some, more precisely, but rook d5 is like to be the best move.
Yeah, or at least a very good one. Yeah, exchanging the rooks. Usually, exchanging pieces is favoring the one who is defending, but this time the rook is very active, and after exchanging it, this knight on f2 will not have a tremendous future ahead. So white played rook takes d5.
Bishop e3 now?
Yeah, bishop e3 is actually a move I wanted to analyze during the stream, but then when I put it on the board, Karyakin immediately played rook d5 already. I'm not too sure, but maybe f4, I don't know.
No, f4, maybe king is 6. f4, he will, oh, you know, f4 is interesting because after rook d5, maybe
fe, yeah.
fe.
That was my point. Here, rook d5, fe.
But,
But rook
also, I
f5
don't
check.
know,
Okay, I'm not
maybe
sure.
knight e4.
Also, knight h1 suddenly.
Yeah, knight h1 maybe stronger because knight e4 maybe bishop e5, something like this. But
Yeah.
no.
Okay, so f4 might not be that convincing.
Yeah, after bishop e3, king e6 looks good.
Mm-hmm. And what now?
Maybe rook d5 and bishop d4. But
Do I take with the king?
no, with bishop, I think.
Bishop d4. Yeah, and this is similar to the game. I think bishop e3 looks more logical than taking, because now this is less active for white. But Karyakin had an idea in mind. He played bishop g5, which is a very nice defensive idea, threatening h4 and knight h3, trying to activate the knight. And during what?
But now, yesterday I thought that after king e6, Karyakin will have a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
Because king e6, f4 next move, and king f5, and you really don't know what he thought about this position.
Yeah. So
Let's see. King e6.
yeah, king e6 is the move that in the stream we were sure was going to be the right way. Just bringing the king to the center, and we didn't see any way for white to just break through. But I have to admit we didn't spot the h4 knight h3 idea. So I think h4 is still the critical move, right?
Yeah, h4 and after f4, knight h1 maybe.
Ah, knight h1, but now bishop h2.
Yeah, bishop h2 is very strong.
Yeah.
But also not so easy because if I will play king f7, king f5, we will play bishop e7.
Uh-huh. So what move does white do? Back to f2? For example?
Maybe.
It's hard to understand the position.
But I don't know, maybe king f5 also play. King f5, bishop e7, and now something like bishop g3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you take on d6, take on h4, g5 will come.
But now maybe knight h1 first.
Oh.
Yeah. That's not so easy. But actually now you cannot take because of f3. No, but g4 check. Okay. It's just a funny line.
Yeah.
But or knight g3 check. Who knows? Anyway, instead of playing this line, maybe instead of f4 there is something better. We are looking.
No, you know, but.
What?
Yeah, okay. No, after knight h1 there, h4, f4, knight h1, bishop h2.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Knight f2, king f5, bishop e7, yeah?
Yes.
And now bishop g3, knight h1, king g4.
Mm-hmm. So you can make the moves on the board.
Yeah, so f4,
Yes.
knight h1, bishop h2, you see, yeah?
Yeah.
Knight f2, king f5, bishop e7, bishop g3, knight h1, and king g4.
Hmm.
If you take on d6, I take with the bishop on h4, and if you take the bishop on g3, maybe I can take with the king.
Yeah.
This also not so clear because bishop d6.
Probably it's a draw.
You think?
Yeah. Because you cannot really make progress after bishop g2, king g1, and so on.
Bishop g2, you play king g1.
Yeah. I'm trying to follow the messages in the chat, but people are writing very long messages. It's hard to read like 5-6 lines of text. Probably they know a lot about the game. So yeah, this is probably quite okay for white. So the king e6 is probably not winning on the spot as we thought, because h4 knight h3 is still coming very fast, right?
Yes.
So yeah, we still don't know what to recommend black here, but I mean, in retrospect, during the stream I didn't like it, but now I do like king g6 and
No.
putting it on h5 like Carlsen did. I don't think it's that bad.
Let me one more question. After h4,
Mm-hmm.
we were playing king e6, h4, and now maybe bishop e4.
Yes. So you can make the moves.
know.
You can make the moves on the board.
Yeah, so no, it look like this. Bishop g5, king e6,
Yes.
h4, bishop e4.
Yes.
If you play knight h3, I can play king e5, no?
Yeah, maybe. You can give a check also and then king e5.
Oh, okay, yeah. Bishop d3 and after king e5.
Mm-hmm.
If you are taking on e4, I
Mhm.
really don't know what is this position. I feel like it needs to be win for black.
Yeah.
Because I will play d5, king f5, king g4.
Yes.
It seems like
No, this bishop endgame is winning, but for sure. But I don't think I will take on
okay, so
on e4.
what do you will play after bishop e4?
Actually, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
King e2, I will take on g2. If you play knight h3, like we said, bishop d3 and king e5.
Yes. So, what can I
The only
say?
move that I see for white is h5.
Yeah. h5. Okay.
Maybe it's interesting.
Yeah, it definitely is. But how to proceed now? Bishop c2 or you want to exchange pawns with h6? Yeah.
Yeah, but I really don't know. If I will play d5, h6, take on h6, take.
Well, now the bishop ending is not so easily lost
Yeah.
without the pawns. So. No, I don't think d5 is the way. Maybe we should somehow prevent the exchange of pawns. I don't know how. No, h5 is a good move. I like it. I don't think bishop e4 is precise.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe king g6, like Magnus played. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
King g6 and h4.
Yeah, in retrospect, I like this king g6 move quite a lot. h4, now king h5, and in this position, yeah, knight h3, the same idea as in the game. I mean, that happened in the game. Bishop h4, knight f4 is the point. That this is not so tempting for black, and I like what Carlsen did. Once again, during the game, I was criticizing him, but now having looked at this move, bishop f7, he exchanged a pair of pawns like this, yeah? But he still has great winning chances. After bishop d8, it seems like he's going to press very hard, because he has this pawn majority, so he's going to create a passed pawn sooner or later. And with this weak pawn, the king can always go to b3. If white doesn't have any serious counterplay. So here I still think white is in serious trouble. And I think at this moment of the game I was very busy analyzing king e6 instead of this position that occurred, that I didn't spot something that happened that was quite dramatic. Knight f2 here, Carlsen played g5, which looks right, and now Karyakin played, I think actually king e2 was played first, if I'm not wrong, but so it was king e2, now g5, and now knight f2, and here I immediately inserted the move king g6 that was played without looking at other options, but I believe that there might be something stronger for black. What do you think about this position? Because after king g6, Karyakin was allowed to play g4, which is a great defensive idea to blockade his pawns, yeah?
Yeah.
Spotting that after f4 he might have a fortress, like in the game. But so the king on h5 maybe is important here to prevent g4 ideas, and we can we can improve the position of the bishops to the maximum. But how exactly, I'm not sure. Maybe like first bishop d5 with tempo on this pawn, and
what about g3?
Yeah, g3, and now there must be something for black. I mean, probably moving the bishop somewhere and then trying to come up with a follow-up. What does white want? This is my question.
Yeah, I also want to ask this question.
Mm-hmm. What does white want?
Maybe knight d1, but...
Yeah, knight d1. You know what? Actually, I have a question. I mean, it's a bit silly, but it might be interesting, yeah? So, it might sound stupid, but I feel like I want to check it, because this move g4 now, it looks ugly, but your only idea is knight d1. So if knight d1, I can maybe check and play the bishop ending, yeah? So I don't know if it's winning, but what do you think about this position? So I put my bishop on g5 and then I bring the king all the way to e4, yeah?
Yes.
I mean, what can you do?
Maybe bishop on b6.
So let's say you put it here. I go all the way to e4. You can't do anything.
No.
What?
I think that white wants to play king c2 and b3.
No? Okay, but first of all, if you allow me to play f4, you will be in trouble, I think. So, which order are you gonna play it?
Yeah, so
if king c2, maybe bishop e3, threatening f4. Ah, but b3, you might exchange all the pawns. f4, gf, g3, f5, g2, bishop h2. I'm not too sure. What do you think about this position?
No, but after bishop h2 we have king h4 maybe?
King h4 or g4 and then f6, king h3?
Yes.
This is a bit too deep. I think it's still a draw because I'll exchange the queens probably. But
no, you know, maybe to play king g5, no?
Wait, I want to take it a bit slower. So bishop g5 feels right. Yeah? Otherwise you might play bishop f4.
No, bishop g5 is a good idea, yeah.
Yeah. But now you want to play this b3. So my question is this: if this bishop ending is winning, but let's just for a moment assume that it is winning. Then what do you have other than knight d1? Your knight cannot move. I'll probably play bishop b6 next, and maybe
also bishop g5 play.
Yeah, I can play bishop g5 next, and if you can't move the knight to d1, you can never move it, basically. And then I'll just bring the king over.
Yes.
So I think you have to go knight d1.
Yeah, I also think, yeah.
And then bishop f3, king d2, bishop d1, king d1, bishop g5, for example, king c2. And now the question is how to proceed.
Bishop e3 is the best move, I really think.
Bishop where?
E3, like...
Yeah, looks right. And now what?
Yeah. b3 you need to play.
Yeah. Some people have questions, but we will answer after checking this line. So b3 has to play to try to exchange as many pawns as possible. And now? Let's say I take and then I go f4. What do you do?
No. Because after the king is coming, I don't know. Maybe he will... Yeah, g3, okay, g3. f5, g2. Bishop h2, and now what?
Ah, maybe I have king g5 actually.
Yeah, king g5.
Just taking this pawn and then going back to
I don't
win.
know if you do this because king c4 and king d3.
But I have the correct bishop. I can always promote.
Yeah.
If you go too close. And here I don't think you're in time. I can even go king g4, king
Yes, this is
h3.
winning position.
So the question is whether or not the starting position was winning in this bishop endgame. This is the main question in line. But it definitely feels like a more challenging option for black, yeah, to be played instead of.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about this g4, but bishop d5 just attacking the pawn, and well, I want to look for 2 more minutes. Yeah, this endgame, and then we can roughly evaluate, because this is a highlights video, so we can't analyze the endgame for half an hour. Although I would like to. So now king c2, what do you think? We said king c2, bishop e3. So what do you think about this position? Like,
I really feel like it's need to be win, you know?
yeah,
Because
me too.
the white king cannot bring king d1, king d2 because of bishop c1, and I don't see any idea for white.
Yeah, people in the chat agree with us. So
Okay, so it's good.
yeah, I just want to check one more line, that in this position after f4, if I, instead of taking, I go back here, what do you do?
King g6.
But then I have f5 check.
Oh yeah.
If king g6, gf, I just want to show the viewers, and f5
No.
check.
No, but after gf, king f5 maybe, no?
King d3, you have this. I'm not in time.
No, you're
I am in time. I am in time. Okay. Yeah. So
maybe not
yeah, this is a question. How to proceed? Maybe
you know, I feel like
king
c6
g5?
d3 is not the best move.
But now maybe king g5, I don't know. What are you gonna do? King d3?
I don't like the fact that my pawn is not on c4. But you know,
So instead of cb3, f4 immediately, you say, yeah?
no, so we also can to take on c4 and king d3, yeah?
It's the same position
Yeah,
with an extra pawn. With an extra
up.
pawn. Yeah, that's right. So maybe the endgame is not so easily winning.
King c2, bishop e3, b3 take, and f4, and king c2 you said, yeah?
Wow, this is very concrete. Maybe bishop g5 is not the right way. Maybe I should just a5 and a4 perhaps. But then you go a4 yourself, yeah?
Yeah.
I got excited for a moment. Okay,
Bishop
so
g4, bishop g5, king c2, bishop e3, b3, take.
you can make the
f4,
moves.
king c. Yeah. One more time we need to see this.
f4 king c2. Yeah. Yes. And now what?
Don't know.
King c2. I don't know either. Well,
No. If we will play king g6, g takes f4, yeah?
probably.
King f5,
Yes.
bishop takes f4.
Yes. But I think I should be in time in this endgame.
Yeah, you will.
I think I'm in time. But you have king g3 and king h2. But king g3 c4. This is nice.
No, but this position is winning, or no?
No, I think it's not.
No, but I play king e4, no?
Okay. So a4, a5, yeah?
Yeah.
No, let's be correct. King f2, king d3. Yeah, this is winning.
Black is winning now, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
But-
a4, a5.
But maybe you don't want to take on f4. We'll play some bishop c5.
So close. So maybe I don't exchange. Just go bishop c5, yeah. Maybe this endgame is more or less closer to the draw. It's hard to say precisely.
Also,
but
I don't know.
go bishop
If I will
g1.
play now bishop h2
King goes somewhere.
and king e4. But you want to play bishop d6 after g3, yeah?
Maybe, yeah. I can even go c4 now.
Yeah, c4.
So I think we can conclude that if this endgame is winning, then probably g4 is a good move. But if not, then well, I'm sure if anyone can understand precisely whether or not this endgame is winning, it's Carlsen, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, if I'm sure had he spotted this idea, he would have calculated it. He might have actually did it in the game. We can't know for sure. But anyway, bishop d5, regardless of the next move, looks more challenging to have this tempo. And someone in the chat was asking what happens if g4 check anyway, like the game. Well, then at least we get an improved version. I cannot say that this is winning, but it's a much better version. And
why you can say that this is winning?
Well, maybe there is a fortress, I don't know for sure. But I have a plan. I'll put the bishop, let's say, on f3 or e6, bring the king all the way to a4,
yeah,
and get it to b3, and then it's gonna be a bit difficult to hold. Too many weaknesses. But okay, my assumption. What?
Also bishop b6, bishop f3 and bishop e3.
You can make the moves.
Yeah, also think like this. Check, bishop b6, bishop b3 and bishop f4 maybe.
Yeah. So this position is quite good for black, and my gut feeling is telling me that it's winning. But g3 is the critical move, and now this endgame I think is what should determine whether or not the position is already objectively winning. And I really actually, Nitzan, I think we missed something. What do you play now?
King d2.
And I give you a check.
No, but knight e3.
Okay, but now you can never unpin yourself. I bring the king. If you move the bishop, I go f4. Oh, so I have an intermediate check actually.
So okay, if you will play king e1, also bishop g5, yeah?
No, I think I can. What should I do? Bishop c1 or take?
No, I'm telling you after bishop f3, you can play king e1, yeah?
It's funny, this is mate in one. Wow.
Yeah.
If what? Bishop where?
No, after bishop f3, king e1.
King e1, but now bishop b6. Okay, I don't have to take immediately. Just wondering, I mean, maybe it's not so. Or also bishop g5, just waiting.
G5 looks stronger.
Yeah, and kind of preparing bishop c1. The knight is completely paralyzed. No, so this is better. I think I was wrong. Bishop takes d1 was a bit too hasty. And yeah. So probably bishop g5 check or bishop g5 now, and then bishop c1 is also a threat. But maybe I don't even want to take the pawn. So okay, I guess now the thing about this position is that white is paralyzed already. He cannot improve, and we're just going to bring the king over to e4 and then take. So if he goes bishop c5, we always have f4. That's the point, yeah?
Yes.
Probably not immediately though. I want to take first and have this position.
Why?
So I can take and go bishop h4. If I go f4 immediately, maybe you can take and get this knight out somehow. I'm not too sure.
Bishop g3 check. You were playing king
Any
f1.
questions? Some people say we don't even need to move the bishops. We can go king h5, g6, f7, e6.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, this feels like it should win. Yeah, this is bishop d5 followed by g4.
Yeah,
So maybe this is one critical moment that Carlsen missed. king g6 feels wrong, but in the game it felt like the most logical move in the world. But then after g4 suddenly it wasn't so easy anymore.
Yeah.
And well, I think we can go forward with the game. Bishop b6, bishop e5. I mean, nothing really happened. a5, I'm not sure if this is a good idea. I would rather keep it on a6, but I mean, this move f4 is another one that I don't like, because it looks amazing for black with the protected passed pawn, two bishops, and the king will come to b3. But as the game shows, white has just enough to hold without falling into Zugzwang. The knight will wait on f2 and h3, and the king will wait on c2, c1, and b1, and this bishop will just walk around. And the moment, as we will see later, the moment black will push with f3, the bishop from d4 or c5 can go to e3. I'll show later. But for now, fg looks like the better move, yeah?
Yeah.
Now knight e3, bishop e6, and it's very similar to the position we saw earlier, actually, with g4 check, yeah?
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels like white is really in danger, because I'm just going to bring the king over. I don't know what you're gonna do. Do you have any suggestion?
No.
Yeah.
This was in the game after 91?
Yes, 91 I think was in the game. Or maybe something else. Maybe bishop d4 first. I can check quickly. Maybe I got it wrong.
1 second, I will check.
In the meantime, I'll try to analyze. I mean, I think he did give up this pawn, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it was in the game.
Yeah, he allowed fg. It's very surprising he didn't go for it, yeah?
Bishop b6 and...
Yeah, what can white do? I'm just gonna put this king all the way. I don't see anything. You can bring the king, but the bishop will pin the knight, so I don't see even something that's even resembling a plan for white. What can he do? Let's say he's waiting, okay? Knight f1. Okay, I bring the king. Where do you put the bishop? Let's say b8, king e4. And now people say knight on d4 stopped the white king from invading. I assume they mean the black king.
Yeah.
But how can you even bring the... How can you...
F take g4, maybe knight c2.
Okay, but knight e3 first, bishop e6, knight c2.
Yeah, but now king f5.
King f5. Bishop b8, for example, king e4, yeah?
Yeah.
Preventing this idea. So where can you put the bishop otherwise? What do you think?
After bishop d4, bishop c7.
Yes. Wow, so many people are streaming at the same time on Lichess. So, here, what do you say?
I don't know. King f5 is...
Is?
I really think that black is... I don't know if it will be winning, but... It's probably... Maybe Magnus will win this position for black.
Yeah, it feels like it's a better chance than f4. After f4, maybe the win is not there anymore, yeah?
Yeah.
And fg, I don't understand. I mean, it opens up the position for the bishops. It's a pawn up, even though it's doubled pawns. And you have a clear plan of bringing the king. I don't know what he was afraid of. I also don't like the fact that this pawn is on a5, but yeah, he did it for some reason. So knight e3, bishop e6, no defense that we can see. So we spotted two critical moments, right?
Yeah.
One was here, where black could have played bishop d5, and the second one was here, where he could have taken on g4, yeah? Probably these were the two main options. I guess there were a few ways to improve on black's play earlier, but these two positions seem like the most overwhelming. mistakes that black has made, yeah?
Yes.
Allowing g4 and then also allowing a fortress with f4. And now bishop d4, bishop c7, knight f2. Well, now white is simply going back and forth. There is nothing that black can do. He was just shuffling his pieces.
Yes.
White allowed him, he didn't have a choice, he allowed him to get the king to b3. Nothing much happened. Back and forth once again. Eventually, black played f3, and the point was that white was waiting with his bishop on this diagonal, and whenever he could, he went knight h3 and back, or king c1 and back. And the moment you play f3, no matter where are the other pieces, I can go bishop e3, attacking this pawn and blockading you from reaching the f4 square. Because if I will allow you to get to the f4 square, then this check on g6 will be deadly.
Yes.
So instead, bishop e3, of course, bishop d7, king c1, and Carlsen shuffled a little bit longer, and he tried the last chance, bishop f4, but this is already a very easy fortress. You just go back and forth, the king has to leave the spot on a2, and at the end, as you can see, there are many ways to play, many ways that are leading to Rome, but knight e4 check looks like the simplest, followed by king f2, as played in the game, and now knight d2. Just attacking this pawn, and this is just nothing for black, yeah?
Yes.
King can go back and forth, the bishop has to defend c4, and this king doesn't have even a square to penetrate the white's position. So they just went, started to repeat moves, and Carlsen sadly had to agree for a draw. Quite a sad outcome from black's perspective, especially given the position of yesterday where he had a lot of winning chances. But we can say that yesterday, or 2 days ago actually, the game was quite concrete, yeah? You can say that, okay, he could have won maybe, but he needed to play very tactically, yeah?
Yeah.
With the pieces and find a lot of interesting ideas, but in the actual, it wasn't as technical as it was today, and it's very so shocking actually that Carlsen has technically won position, especially in a World Championship match, and he doesn't find the right way to convert. I mean, this is a shock for me.
Yeah, I really hope that he will
Come back from it, yeah?
Yeah.
My guess, and also as we said before the stream, is that probably he was nervous because I mean, under normal circumstances, he would probably just play very actively and find the best way to win. But here, it felt like he was trying to do it more slowly. He was taking the safe route to the win, and this is actually what caused him to miss these moments that we probably found here. So yeah, Carlsen, don't be so nervous. It's just the World Championship. Only a few millions of dollars on the line. I mean, nothing you can't handle. So yeah, just take it easy. Play some random moves like you normally do. Feel confident and go back to the game. As for Karyakin, even though we're rooting for Carlsen, we have to give it to you. You played an amazingly
defense.
Yeah, I would say an amazingly impressive defensive game in both of these games, and there is no argument, at least from my side, that Sergei is the best defender in the world as of now, and at least from the games that I have seen, and yeah, I feel like that he's relentless when it comes to defending a position, so tenacious. So good job defending, and great match so far. The last two games has been very exciting, compensated for the first two games like 1,000 times. And yeah, we are very, very hopeful that we will have a decisive result in the next game, and especially now that Carlsen is white. But we wouldn't mind even seeing Karyakin winning every now and then, just to see some blood. We smell the blood, but we don't get a taste of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So thanks everyone who were watching. This is Nitzan Steinberg from Israel, and Tal Baron. And this has been a very nice recap for a very exciting game. And if you enjoyed watching us here, you can follow our Twitch channel, Chess Juice. And yeah, if you want to learn some more, also feel free to watch the next videos. Bye.